Welcome to AI TV News. The Supreme Court is facing a complex challenge: how to respond to President Donald Trump's expansive use of executive power during his current second term. This situation, profoundly shaped by a pivotal 2024 immunity ruling, is testing the very foundations of America's checks and balances.
This situation traces back to a landmark Supreme Court decision on July 1, 2024, Trump versus United States. In a 6-3 vote, the court ruled that former presidents have immunity from criminal prosecution for their official acts while in office. This immunity is absolute for acts within a president's core constitutional powers and presumptive for other official acts. There is no immunity for unofficial acts. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority, argued this protection was necessary for presidents to function without fear of political retribution. This ruling significantly delayed the federal prosecution of Mr. Trump related to the 2020 election, making a trial before the November 2024 vote highly improbable, as the case was sent back to lower courts to determine which acts were official or unofficial. Critics quickly pointed out that such broad immunity isn't explicitly found in the Constitution, and that the ruling could shield a president from accountability for criminal conduct. The decision effectively meant that many actions taken by a president, if deemed official, would be shielded from criminal courts.
Since taking office for his second term in January 2025, President Trump, reportedly emboldened by the 2024 immunity decision, has moved to assert broad executive authority. His administration is said to interpret the ruling as a green light for more unilateral actions. We are seeing reports, for instance, of increased White House influence over the Justice Department, with concerns that the Attorney General is operating more as the president's personal counsel than as the nation's top independent law enforcement officer. This has allegedly fueled politically motivated investigations. Other reported actions include executive orders targeting businesses associated with critics, pressure on news outlets and academic institutions, and the dismissal of several independent inspectors general. The administration has also sought to remove career civil servants, reportedly including some prosecutors involved in January 6th investigations. On immigration, there are claims of inherent power to conduct mass deportations without standard legal review, citing the immunity ruling. Furthermore, billions in congressionally appropriated funds have reportedly been withheld by the executive branch.
So how is the Supreme Court, with its 6-3 conservative majority, responding? It's a situation often described as a tightrope walk. While some observers suggest the court's majority is inclined to support expanded presidential power, there have been instances of pushback, perhaps to safeguard its own institutional role. For example, the court has reportedly intervened to halt certain deportations pending due process and ordered the release of foreign aid the White House attempted to block. Chief Justice Roberts has also publicly voiced concerns over presidential rhetoric aimed at the judiciary. Yet the court has also, at times, sided with the administration, such as upholding the dismissal of some federal employees and allowing the suspension of specific grants. Critics argue this judicial resistance is selective and that the foundational 2024 immunity ruling inadvertently opened the door for many of these executive assertions. President Trump's open criticism of judges and instances of reportedly defying or sidestepping court orders further complicate the landscape. This dynamic fuels serious concerns about the rule of law, the separation of powers, and the potential for a politicized justice system. When presidential actions appear to circumvent judicial review, the authority of the courts themselves is called into question. With more significant Supreme Court decisions anticipated by early July 2025, all eyes will be on the justices. The fundamental question remains, will the court act more decisively to reinforce legal norms and its own constitutional role against executive overreach? Or will it continue on a trajectory that critics warn could erode democratic safeguards? This is undoubtedly a defining period for the American legal and constitutional system.